Oh my God. Oh my God. I've been sitting there for the past 8 minutes talking to myself and didn't realize I had one more button to press. Hey, it's been a while, man. It's been a while, man. I just spent the last 8 minutes talking completely to myself. So if you are there now, um, yeah, I guess that always happens to me, doesn't it? That always happens to me. But I don't think we have anything to fear about. Nobody was like writing in the chat or nothing. Oh, so this is where we're at, man. I got burned bad. I got burned bad, man. I put so much faith into the auto exposure of a camera that I had just got out of the shop and paid nearly $600 to get it fully fixed up and everything. And the auto exposure is just, man. I mean, this is why you got to do everything yourself, you know? It's just like, dude, seriously, man. My brain works better than these meters. And so because of that, you got to learn the hard way. And you're like, oh, dude, these got gnarly, dude. These got so gnarly, which is a bummer. The burn there is the tank. This is multiple things that went wrong here, but it just had to be on a roll that just got severely underexposed. And it's such a heartbreak to behold. It's a heartbreak to behold, man. But some of the gnarliness I like. I don't mind this. I mean, it's pretty on brand, I guess. It's just not, and some of them got too nuked. Like this is like from another world, another planet. Oh, this is a Reflex Lab 100 color film. Yeah, this is the Reflex Lab 100. There's some other stuff that I've been working on with the Reflex Lab 400, but this specifically is the 100. I think the blue tint is something, oh, you know what I did? Yeah, I didn't take a white balance on the, someone said you don't have to do that anymore, though. I think I read where you don't have to take a white balance off of the negative anymore. I don't know if that's true. Look, dude, I burned right through his head, dude. Oh my God, bro. I burned right through his head, bro. See, there's a lot of this. That's not the camera's fault, though. That is an issue with the reel in the development process there. I got pretty, that's kind of, that's nuked. Oh, it's a bummer, bro. It looks like Jerry Springer sitting on the fucking bench, bro. I almost had a shot of Jerry Springer chilling out, man. You know, Jerry Springer was chilling out, man. And I mucked it up, dude. Well, the camera did. That's why you can't rely on auto exposure. And I haven't used auto exposure in months. And then I was like super stoked to have a camera that had it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to use the auto exposure. And I guess because I just literally got it out of the shop and I thought, well, yeah, man, that's, nearly $600 what I paid to get it out of the shop. And then boom, now this shot of Jerry Springer didn't turn out, man. Reflex 100 is Aero Color 4. It is. What's up, hey cameraman? It's Aero Color 4. That makes sense. Yeah, because when I was looking at the negative, I was curious about that because I'm like, dude, why does it say Eastman? I think it does say Eastman on the negative. Oh, that makes sense then. Then this is the same stuff as Santa Color. Which one is it? The 100, right? Santa Color 100 is also Aero Color, I believe. That makes sense. That's why it's got that gnarly blue tint to it. Oh, man. Yeah, so Laws, this is going to be for a future episode, so for Freeway Life, but I figured I have to develop these anyways. And I haven't done a live stream on this channel in a long time. There's been a few in the past where I, developed film like this on the live, but this is so last minute. I don't know if we'll have some people come up, but yeah, this one got gnarly, man. The R4 let me down, man. I was putting so much faith into that auto exposure and I'm pretty bummed out, to be honest. I don't know. Some of them are cool though. Look, I don't mind this. This is cool. I don't mind some of them. But see, I don't really do much, you know? Like all I try to adjust is like exposure and the brightness and the contrast. I don't really mess with too much else cuz I don't like to. I don't mess with all this stuff down here. This stuff down here, these colors, I don't even touch these color bars, man, cuz I don't trust myself. That's why I shoot black and white so much cuz I can't see all the colors that other people see. I mean, I can tell that like okay, this is like what this streak right here I would call like a I gotta think about it because I want to get the answer right. You know, like I gotta think about what color I would say this is. I mean, it looks kind of yellow to me, I guess, like a yellow light. Phew. Um, so I know that much, right? There's like a flame running through it. But then also like this to me, oh, let me hit apply here. Like also like this to me looks blue, which I think is correct. Um, because it's not like I don't see color at all. It's just my hue is off. All my hues are like a little off where I don't quite, sometimes I don't see the same colors that other people see. This one's not bad though, honestly. I mean, she's pretty gnarly, but I mean, if the shoe fits, you know? If the shoe fits. Yo, Dead Ringer video. Jerry Springer mixed with Steven Spielberg. Oh yeah, you saw that? Well, maybe Winogrand. Jerry Springer slash Winogrand slash Spielberg. Man, we almost got him, dude. Yep, Santa the same. Yeah. But you know what is really good? Laws is the 800. Now, the Santa Color 800, what do you think that film is? Here, I can pull it up real quick. Oh, I ruined my shot of my old lady sitting on the chair, bro. Hold on. Look at this, bro. Oh, man. I can't believe I ruined all these shots. Well, you know, I'm not the only proponent here, man. That camera with its auto exposure, you know, because I'm working on another batch and I used the M3 and I'm like, dude, I can't go wrong, dude. Like at least like if it's gonna be off, it's gonna be like every single one will be off by the same amount, you know? Whereas relying on the auto exposure of another stupid camera, and you're like, man. And then so I talk about this a little bit, but I get it now why all the pros are like, you know, like because I was watching this old piece with Martin Parr, you know, because he used the Plaubel Machina, and they were talking about when they were designing that camera, how they were going back and forth if they wanted it to have like aperture priority or some sort of auto exposure mode, and all the dudes were like, no, they were like auto exposure is for amateurs. But you know what? I get it. I get it now. You know, when you have stuff like this happen, where like an entire roll is basically botched because you relied solely on the auto exposure, that to me makes sense to where it's like, yeah, they're not really saying it as like, they're not saying it as like a way to be like hoity toity or something, right? Like they're saying it in the realistic act of like, how can you expect what you want to get when you're relying on something that's automatic? Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like that's the way my brain kind of broke it down. Where I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like when you first hear it, when you first hear like some old heads say like, no man, auto exposure is for amateurs. You know, you might get a little offended by it or something. You know, because you're like, hey man, who are you, man? You know, but then like when it happens to you, and the automatic function completely destroys your soul, then you're like, oh, I get it now. I get it now. They're not saying it in a like a rude way. They're just saying it in like a matter of fact, like, yeah, you're not gonna want to use this because look, you know. But also, I am a little bit to blame here because I have completely chopped their heads off. So I guess things could be. I guess I can't blame the camera entirely. Holy shit, dude. Yeah, this is why I say, man, some of these get really gnarly, which is a bummer because this was like some sort of interaction going on here. This is what happens when you don't quite get your eye in the viewfinder and you're whipping by at 3 miles per hour on a penny board. Holy shit, dude. Welcome back, brother. Yeah, Dead Ringer video. Thank you. Thanks for helping me with those Xenon full frame lenses. Oh, that was you, huh? Did you get those, by the way? Did you end up picking those up? Mutiny Mike in the house. He said he scanned 12 rolls today. Only 39 more to go. Mike, you should share your scanning setup. What do you, or did you say you have the Veloy? That's what I use, is the Veloy Easy 35. Okay, hold up. What do you say? Kodak Max 800, I've read, is Santa Color 800? Yo, Derek Angel. Kodak Max 800 is Santa Color 800. Hold up. Let me see if I shot Kodak. Oh no, I've never shot Kodak Max 800. There's an Ultra Max 800. I was completely unaware of that. Because I was gonna say, let me pull over my scans. Let's get into it. Because I was gonna, man, because the Santa Color 800, I thought was so good. Let me try to find it now. When did I go down there? Oh, when did I go down there? Oh no. Which one of these is it? Oh, it's gonna be way up here actually. Downtown LA. Here it is, Santa Color 800. Okay. Santa Color 800. Hold up. Are you going to the Red Bull event on the 16th? The Red Bull event. Hold up. What are you talking about? Red Bull event on the 16th. Where? In Los Angeles? Is it a skateboarding thing? Oh, it's a soapbox race. Are you talking about this? Red Bull soapbox race, Los Angeles? What is this, bro? The Red Bull soapbox race returns to downtown Los Angeles on Saturday for a free public event. Free public event? Why do you need Eventbrite if it's free? Featuring 40 teams racing custom non-motorized vehicles down First Street, starting at North Grand. Holy cannoli, with the racing commencing around noon near Gloria Molina Grand Park. Oh yeah, dude, I gotta go to this. This event, which highlights creative, high-speed, and often comedic downhill racing, is a premier spectacle in LA. What? The event is easily accessible by walking, biking, or public transit. Hold up, what? I've never heard of this. How have I not... Oh shit.
LA, are you ready for a fantastic affair called the Red Bull Soapbox Race?
All right, I better mute it for copyright. Oh man. Okay. Maybe I have seen this before. Yeah, with the little buggies, like it's like Mario Kart kind of, right? Yeah, it reminds me of Mario Kart. Oh, this is a big deal, huh? Yeah, I should probably go to this, but like, the stuff that like sucks about this kind of stuff is like, here's the cool thing. When this is done, like when the actual like race is over, that's when it will be cool. You know what I mean? Because everybody stays downtown. But while this is going on, it's gonna suck. You know what I mean? For me. Because it's like the equivalent of like, actually, I should take that back. I guess like while it's happening is like great opportunity just to like get video of all the craziness. And then after the event is over, yeah, the streets are gonna be off the hook. 100%. Yeah, so yeah, I'll probably be down there. I mean, hopefully, if I don't have something else to do, but I can't imagine why I couldn't be there. Oh no, wait. I can't do this. I'm gonna be out of town. Bummer, dude. This happens while I'm out of town. I forgot. I'm gonna be in Tennessee from the 15th through the 25th. I'll be in Tennessee. Damn, I'll be in Tennessee when this is going down. I'm kind of upset now. I'm kind of bummed out about that. Bummer, dude. I just realized that. Yeah, I would say this though. I would say this. Um, it would be rad just to be at the event after the event, because that's how I feel like the Dodgers thing was, right? Like after the Dodgers thing is over, that's when it just like the streets were awesome, you know. Of course, that's when it was most fun for me. I have a Plus Tech 130. Wait, hold up. What up? He said he has a Plus Tech 135 AI and an Epson. Oh, you use an Epson scanner? Huh. Dead Ringer, I did. He ended up grabbing the set with the 25, the 35, and the 75. I'll grab the 50 later next month. Do you recommend the 100? Yeah, 100%. But I don't think you'll even need the 50. You won't need the 50 if you already have the 75. And especially if you're going to get the 100. Yeah. My set was the 25, the 35, and the 75. I think that's what I had. And I was fine with that. With just those three. Is that what I had? I think that's what I had, the 25, the 35, and the 75. I just feel like 75 and 50 are too close for, you know, in my opinion. You know, a 75 and a 50, whenever I have the option for either of those, as long as like if they're the same f-stop, like if they're the same f-stop, then I would always take the 75 mil. But if I need the 50 to be faster, and normally the 50s are faster, then you would use the 50. But since those are all the same T-stop, I think the 75 is the better choice over the 50. I wouldn't even sweat grabbing the 50. I would get the 100 instead. But then I know some people might be like, well, dude, the 100 is pretty close to 75. But to me, it's not. I feel like the 100 gives you a little bit more reach. I don't know. Yeah, that might be a tough call. I think you would be more than happy with just the 3. I don't think you need either the 50 nor the 100. I really don't. You know, I think you would be very happy with just the 3, because I use the 75 a lot, and that was more than tight enough for me. You know, I didn't really need to go tighter than a 75, honestly. Yes, it's a free event. Yeah, man. Welcome back. Yeah, thank you, Stuart Monroe. Your boy Cam did a live stream. He quit some YouTube agency because someone in it was a Trump fan. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. It's me feeding sheeps. Hopes to see you there, bro. Oh, Derek. Okay. No, man, I'm gonna be out of town, bro. I wish I could go to it, but no. Both my nephews are graduating, so you know I gotta go to that. You know I gotta. Yeah, both my sisters somehow randomly ended up living in Tennessee. Like I think my oldest sister, she went to UT. And she just stayed there, dude. And they've been Tennessee people ever since. Yo, Kodak. Okay, here he says Kodak Max 800 is the film in Kodak disposables and has attributes like Portrait 100, but consumer grade. Ah, I see. I see. Okay. What up, Ravikante Ray? Wow. I could use the 35 for a lot of the 50 shots also. He said he could use the 35 100%. And I would. I never use a 50 millimeter ever. Both in cinematography and stills. I just absolutely, the only time I use a 50 mil is when I need it to be a character lens. Because I used to have that 51.2, the Noctilucent. They call it the Noctilucent, the one that Light Lens Lab makes. I just sold it for $2,000. I just recently sold it for $2,000. Well, not recently. I guess it's been like a month now. I think I sold it a month ago. And I really just did it because like, I'm like, why am I holding on to this thing? I only used it for cinematography work. That was really the reason why I was holding on to it. I think I tried to use it probably like 4 or 5 times on my M3, you know, because it's an actual 50 mil, and mine was silver. You guys have seen this, but it's just so big and heavy. It's way too big and heavy. It's so insanely big and heavy. But for my video work, oh man, I use it all the time. And, but I mean, the fact that like it's sold out and like I got damn near what it's worth brand new, and how I got the lens was through a trade to begin with. So I saw it as like income, you know, like I saw not income, but like all ROI, right? Because in my brain I didn't have any money into it at all because I got it on a trade. So I mean, I guess you could factor in what I paid for the lens that I trade for it, but I mean, I don't know what that was. You know, that's so long ago. And so to me, it was all like instant 2Gs. You know, I'm like, dude, yeah, I can get rid of that lens because in my brain, here's how I went about it because I'm like, dude, it's just a 1.2. Right. That's really what like you could say like, well, no, like it matches really well to the original, like to Noctilux and all this stuff. And they put the same stuff in the glass. I did a whole, kiss butt video about this lens, and it is true. Like they did a really good job, recreating it to be like the Noctilux. I mean, they did a really good job. But the reality is the way I look at it, because I had used it on multiple DP jobs, like multiple videography jobs, narrative jobs. One of them was where we recreated Peaky Blinders. We recreated a scene from Peaky Blinders for the Kim Wayans show. And I knew from reading the script, I knew immediately that I was going to use that lens specifically because I just knew in my brain that we needed all the help we could get because it's ultra low budge and we had a very small lighting package, and I'm kind of doing everything myself. So I'm like, I'm just going to use that lens and I let it do all the heavy lifting. I let it do all the heavy lifting in terms of like, yeah, I ripped it wide open so I could do more natural lighting with it. And then just, lean into the idea of like, well, it's that old school Peaky Blinders vibe, and just a beautiful lens. But the reality is when I really sat back and thought about it, I'm like, dude, it's only cool because it's a 1.2, really to me, that's what it boiled down to. And even if you start looking at that and then you go, but I want character too. Well, then you can fall down some really cool rabbit holes and you can find way cooler lenses, way gnarlier lenses with way more character than this lens ever dreamed of having, probably more character than we would ever want, to be honest, that are also 1.2s. That are truly from that era and not made today. You know what I mean? The fact that it's made today but emulates 1966, that's only nice in the reality of like, well, yeah, we want it to be sharp and it renders beautifully on film. I can pull up some stuff. This thing renders on film so beautifully because it's a modern made lens. That is like the advantage of it. But the reality is, no, I would want something way more gnarly than that thing, and you can get it for like a fraction of the cost, right? So that's the way my brain went, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm totally gonna do that then, and then that's the main reason why I sold it. But that's the only all of that to say that's the only reason why I would ever keep a 50 mil in my set. Because the 50 mil will always be, you can always get gnarly, super fast 50 mils. You know what I'm saying? And there's always an opportunity to use something like that, i.e. the Peaky Blinders recreation that I did. You know what I mean? I don't know what I would have done if I wouldn't have had something like super fast like that, because I really leaned into it for multiple reasons. So that's the only time I care about a 50 mil. Other than that, I never want to touch a 50 mil. I just think that to me, it's just like, I don't know. It's just a focal length that I can't get into. And I would rather just, yeah, like you were saying, the 35, 100% all day long. I'd rather shoot on the 35 than a 50. And I don't even like a 35 mil. I really don't. But if I was trying to get closer, honestly, that's where I would go the 40 route. I would, that's why I love the little 40 mil lens. I think I have a 40 mil in every lens set almost. Cause I do have like, I think I have 4 different 40 millimeter lenses just now in the cabinet for different systems. The 40 mil is what I would choose over both the 35 and a 50. You know what I mean? Well, we'll talk about that later, but yeah, I don't know how we got down that rabbit hole. We're going to get on it now. I'm revved up now. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Good day, mate. Yeah, Stuart's in the house. Your last video, How I Became Free, was quite good. Thank you, man. I thought it was a little cringe. I was feeling a little self-conscious about it, and I was getting nervous about it and worried about it. And then I was like, I was gonna take it down. I was gonna take it down, and then I was like, or at least like make it members only. I do that with a lot of things. Like I'll make it a members only video or something, but I don't know. Well, for now, I'll leave it up, I guess. But Yeah, I get in my brain about stuff like that, because it originally was a Patreon video. When I originally filmed it, it was gonna be for my Patreon, and then I don't know, I felt like, well, it'd be cool to put it on the main channel, and then but of course when I do that, I get very self-conscious about things, and I get, because the reality is when I make videos like that, I am a little bit on a soapbox a little bit. And in the moment it feels good, you're like, yeah, dude, I'm saying a bunch of cool shit, but then on the back end, I'm always like, I don't want to, I don't, I just like sometimes you go, man, that's pretty cringe, and then you're like, yeah, I let it breathe for a couple of days, but yeah, that video might disappear here in a while. It just depends how I feel about it. Yeah, you're getting tired of the YouTube influencer BS. I think everyone's feeling it right now. Like I was watching a Casey Neistat video, and there's a part in there where he really quick a little text pops up on the bottom of the screen, and it says something like, "No, I didn't get paid to make this video." Something like that, and he's like, "Leave me alone" in the comments or something. So I'm like, damn, even they're even going after Casey, but I think, look, you know, I think it is a good thing. I think it is. I think it's. Look, the reality is, it's the law. Like YouTube has these regulations. Where all of this stuff is supposed to be, very transparent. And somewhere down the line, the transparency line got very blurred, and you can get away with a lot more than because the problem is like we live in an influencer society, that's the real problem, right? We live in a society, we live in an influencer society. We really do. And we're all being influenced now 100% constantly. And I think that, yeah, we all do our own level of influencing as well. I mean, I just influenced you guys into like, this whole idea of this 50 mil thing, regardless, you know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly, right? Like if we really wanted to be real with ourselves, we'd be like, okay, yeah, like I'm, but it's just like the nature of the beast of social media, So it's a weird thing. It's a weird time. And, I know it sucks because I think a lot of people think that I'm always like, because a question that I always get, a very aggressive question is like, why do you care how people make their money? And it's not, I don't think it's really about that for me. It's not that I care how they make their money. I don't care how they make their money. I guess what bothers me more is it's like that whole justice warrior thing. I got to work on that. I have a complex with wanting to be a justice warrior. But I think that's, for me, that's what it is, right? Because you feel like, I think there's a part of my brain where I see something happening that I feel is not cool, right? And then I go, I want to talk about that, I go, oh, I have a platform, I can talk about that. Let me talk about that. I think that's a problem I have, right? Where it's like, that's a form of influencing, I suppose, right? Right. So I'm not innocent of it either. I'm just doing it in a non monetized way. I'm doing it in I'm doing it for different reasons, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we got down that one. Uh, Me personally, I can't even do a 35. I either do a 32 or any of the 20s. Yeah, 100%. 28 is hands down my most used lens. 28 mil all day long. 28 mil, 100%. But I think what I originally wanted to do was I was gonna remind myself of the Santa Color 800 because I thought it was nice, but I didn't see any relation to any Kodak film that I had ever shot before. But I don't think I've ever shot Ultra Max 800. I think I only did the 400. I think I've only ever messed around with the Ultra Max 400. Yeah, but I like this film. I liked how I felt, and also too, like I feel like it had really good dynamic range. I mean, this could very well be a digital photo if you look at it. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it more than the Ectacolor, because to me, the Ectacolor is definitely the portrait film, right? Because I feel like that Ectacolor 800 was very similar to Portrait 800, and I don't like kind of the really super pastel look that the Ectacolor had, which is also what Portrait has. So, but like this stuff is a different kind of like gritty. I don't know how to like it's still polished, like it still feels really nice and like I don't know, do you say resolution? Like it feels like it has a lot of detail in it, you know? Like it feels like a really high quality film, you know? I mean, look at it. You know what I mean? It's good. But at the same time, it doesn't have like that wash that like the Ectacolor and the Portra has. It has a different kind of color to it that I like over those other ones, especially this stuff. Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's really high price tag though. I think it was like $22 a roll. And this is like zone focusing. So this isn't even like actually focused, you know? This is all zone focused. I don't know, man. It was a pretty good one. I think like I have some favorite films right now, color film, that I would be like, dude, if I only, you know, kind of like the situation of how I have like 700 feet of the double X. I think now it's like totally probably less than 500 feet. But at one time when I first got it, I had nearly 700 feet of that Eastman double X. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, if I could get that many feet of a color film, what would you guys choose? Because I have some on my thing where I, you know, like, I think about it, like this Santa Color 800 might be on the top 5 for that. You know, honestly, top three, honestly, because it's pretty dang good. Those pastel colors are only if you lab scan. If you self scan, you can change the colors in NLP in general terms. Yeah, you see, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe the way I'm doing it, they always have that. Let's see, when did I do? It was probably this one. Ectacolor. Okay, yeah, so here's my Ectacolor 800. Here's my Ectacolor 800. Let me see if I did it pastel or what, because I don't know what I do. Yeah, and you know what? I think because I don't really mess with the colors, some of them don't have it. They don't always have it, right? Because you have to really get it blasted with light to have it. Because look when it's underexposed, it gets gritty. It gets gritty. But then there are other times where you see it starts to get the pastel. It starts to get that kind of pastel wash when there's like a crap ton of light on it. Let me try to find a good example. These are all like kind of in the shade. These are gnarly, by the way. If anyone's like, what the fuck are we looking at, dude? Oh shit. Honestly, it's honestly the one with the girl holding the let's see if I can find it. Dude, I'm freezing. It's cold, huh? It's getting cold. This one, dang, where is it? Oh, you know what? It was the 400. So this is the 800. I don't really, the funny thing is, but it was, you know, the sun was going down though. So this is like sundowners. I mean, yeah, clearly this is straight up sundown, dude. Like it's going down. So that's probably why none of these I'm really like getting the great example of it. The 400 definitely has the portrait kind of look to it. Like, cause now like these are like, yeah, these get blasted. Let me see if I can find a good example in here. There's some gnarly ones in here, dude. Oh my God, dude. Okay, let's see. I love that photo though. I just love that they're all looking at me. I love that. It was like, it's like a perfect little V and they're all looking. Let me see. Yeah, like this. This is a prime example, dude. This reminds me of portrait. I mean, this is portrait. You know what I mean? So that right there, I wouldn't know how to get rid of that. You know what I mean? And I think it's because I don't mess with the colors. So if I'm only messing with brightness and contrast, I guess someone like me would try to get rid of it in the contrast. But I can't try it, you know what I mean? Like I would get bored of trying to fix the colors. So I don't try to fix it at all. At all. I just mess with the brightness and the contrast. And this is wild too. And the exposure, obviously. If you need latitude range, portraits can't really be beat. But for day to day, I'd bulk roll aero color. You would bulk roll that stuff, or Ultramax if I need the 400 ISO. You would bulk roll the aero color. You know what's weird? When I knew it was aero color, I didn't really like it. But then you told me that, what did you say was the aero color? Which one was it? I can't remember now. But the one that I knew was aero color was the Santa Color 100, right? Oh man, it might take me way too long to find that. I don't even remember when I used that Santa Color 100. That had to have been forever ago. Well, it was actually around Christmas time. Hold up. I don't even think I was there it is right there, Santa Color. Yeah, so this is these are really old. But this is the aero color. Aero color to me gives a more vintage look. Yeah. Oh, it 100% does. Yeah, this isn't bad actually. Dang, I forgot about the 100. Yeah, I forgot about the 100. And honestly, this is pretty good. It's a pretty good film, isn't it? I think in the moment I was like kind of like wanting to trash it, but it's got really high detail to it. Really good detail to it. So this is what the case is with this. This was the Santa Color 100, but then I pushed it 2 stops. And this is when I was taking film to the lab. And yeah, I mean, it's a good, interesting. Yeah, and you could easily get bulk rolls of this. You could easily get bulk rolls of this stuff, man. Easily. Right? I'm just making false claims. I think you can though. I think you can. But the other like super available one is I don't know if it's super available, but it is readily available. It was at one time readily available, was the Kono color film, and that stuff is good too. And I don't think that is a Kodak film. I don't think it is. Is Kono Kodak? No, I think Kono is their own thing, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, the Santa Color. So I wonder if the Santa Color 800 is just like another form of aero color. I thought it was supposed to be like a brand new thing though. It looks better than the 100, I'll tell you that much. This stuff looks good, boy. The 800 to me looks way better than the 100. But is that because we're pushing it in camera? Is it possible that it's the same film with just a higher ASA? Because they already tell you to push the 100 2 stops. They already tell you to do that. Right? So what if they figured out like I don't know. I'm going down a crazy rabbit hole now. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And I'm pretty sure you can buy aero color bulk roll film. Aero color bulk roll film. Oh man, that's not a bad idea. Oh yeah, that's what Ultrapan 400 flick film is. That's just aero color for $90. So flick film's already doing it. No, this is black and white. What am I talking about, dude? Why did they give me that? Making me look like an idiot, Google. Valaris 100. Here it is. 180 euros. Yeah, see, that's I think that's about what Kono charges too. $200 for a bulk roll. Santa Color, Flick Film, Electro 100, Reflex Lab 100, Luminar 100, Washi X, and FPP 125 are all Aero Color. It's all Aero Color. Huh. They're just reselling it. Huh. It's not bad. It's not a bad film. Yeah, it's also sold at higher prices under other names such as Reflex Lab Pro 100, Washi X, and Santa Color 100. Volaris 100 is a very clear and thin film and is therefore highly susceptible to light piping. That's how I got all those crazy things. Is that light piping? Or is that because of the development? Aero Color colors look wacky from the lab scans I get, sadly. They look wacky. Now, this technically also is Aero Color then, because this is, I believe this batch was Reflex Lab 100. Isn't that what I said? Yeah, so this is all gnarly too. Oh no. Oh my God, dude. But they're all, the camera screwed me over anyways on these. Oh man, look at my 9 Club photos. Man, dude, they got jacked, bro. They're gonna be way too hard to fix. Damn it all, dude. Damn it all, man. I'm gonna have to doctor these up. That's a bummer, bro. Ah, I'm so bummed out right now. But at least the burn didn't get him. At least the burn is still like off to the side. Dude, these are, oh, I'm so mad about the auto exposure issue anyways. See, like if I would have shot this on my M3, like all manual, these would have all been significantly better than this in terms of exposure. This is what happens when you rely on the camera's auto exposure. Oh, it boned me so bad. I'm so bummed out right now. I'm so bummed out right now, bro. Publicly shaming. A public shaming, bro, live. Damn it, bro. I'm so bummed out right now, bro. These are gnarly. I don't know if I have the skills to reserve these or to reserve these, to preserve these. Oh my God, bro. It's gnarly. I think the burn mark is better, honestly. The developing burn there, that might be cooler, honestly. I don't know how I feel about it right now. It's because of the clear base of Aero Color, it throws lab scanners off. Oh. Well, you think I lifted it too much? I totally lifted it too much. I mean, look how much I pushed the exposure. You can like, sometimes what I'll do, I'll push the exposure and then I'll just like pull back the brightness. See, I just kind of like jump back and forth between these things here, but I'm so mad. I mean, I lost all the, yeah, the camera. It's like, I just could cry. Not literally, but it's like, when you think about like, why did I have to take that camera that day? Or because, you know, the truth is the whole reason I was in Venice is because I had to go get the camera out of the shop, right? So you get the camera out of the shop and you're like super stoked that now you got your camera back. But the auto exposure is nuts, huh? Look, it did better here because the whole scene was dark. So it's really overcorrecting for like these intense like backlit situations. You know what I mean? Like it's like hugely overcorrecting for I mean, maybe I guess it makes sense, right? Because like it makes sense because it's exposing for all of this shit, which is crazy to me. Like I thought it was just like center weighted average, right? Because a center weighted average, it would be the opposite of this. Like they would be up. You know what I mean? They are in the center, right? So this is what boggles my mind about this camera's meter. It's like, it's actually like an entire average. It's not center weighted. It's like the entire field average. Sorry. The entire field average is what it's going off of. And that's crazy to me that was I didn't know that SLRs from the 80s did that. I thought they were all center weighted. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Throw it in AI and fix the burn. Really? I almost like the burn though. Never had an auto exposure issue with my Nikon FX. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. And the whole reason that I had this camera is because it was $200. A doctor was selling it for in Burbank for $200. So I was like, oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna go get that. But I thought I had to get it fixed. I mean, I did have to get it fixed. It was shutter capping and like, you know, it sat on his. It was decor. You know, he literally had it as a shelf decor. You know, so nothing in it worked. So then I had to pay to. I like this. Now I like this. This we can work with. Honestly, I don't even want to change it. If anything, I should go make it gamma and really. Nah, that's almost too much though. Honestly, I love this as it is. This like reminds me of like Dark Side of the Moon or something. This is rad, dude. Now that's cool. That I can get with. Yeah, but see like all this, such a bummer, bro. Such a bummer, bro. Still works. I mean, these all can be adjusted, you know. It's just like the burn sometimes got me. The burn definitely sometimes got me. I don't mind it though, per se. I just can't believe how gnarly. Yeah, this photo's nuts, dude. Oh, I'm so mad I didn't get it higher. I'm so mad I couldn't get higher. I couldn't get higher in the moment. I'm so bummed out about that. This one burned my guy almost perfectly. This one's cool. It just needs to be fixed. This one needs to be fixed, but that's cool too. I don't know. I don't even know what that was. Yowzers. So yeah, I guess this is the aero color stuff. It's not bad. It would be better if I expose it. It'll be better when my eyeball exposes it rather than relying on the camera. It did a horrible job, man. I've never had a camera do so bad at auto exposure before though. Honestly, I haven't. Like if the AE1 was really good, the XD was really good. The Minolta XD was really good auto exposure. And so I guess my brain was like, yeah, Minolta made the R4. It'll be just as good. It's like a completely different metering system or something. It's a completely different meter. There's no way it has the same meter as those Minolta cameras. Because this is kind of cool though. I kind of like that one. That Cali light is too bright for regular meters. Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. No, wait, what is he saying? You need exposure comp for backlighting on 80s SLRs. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's the problem. I'm not thinking right about that. Because like when I take like my full manual M out, right? Like all I'm thinking about, I don't care about the background, right? Like that's what I love about the black and white. Like I'll just let the black and white nuke it. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I'll just nuke the background completely. But with black and white, you can totally do that. And so what I'll do is I'm just like trying to point and shoot, you know? So I'll put it on F8 and then I'll just ride the shutter to whatever I think in terms of blur and darkness. You know what I mean? But it's normally 1/25th in the shadows and like 250 in the non-shadows, depending. If it's really bright and there are no shadows, then probably just like 500. But then that's how my brain has done it, to where I know that I can have the faces with an ISO 400 film. But that's with, you know, completely nuking the background. So I guess I'm only operating in that like viewpoint and not realizing like, yeah, dude, the camera's meter is wanting to like factor in the whole frame, which makes sense, you know. Maybe I should do that too. That's a good idea. maybe I should think about the whole frame. Okay, let me write that down. Oh shit, dude. I mean, sometimes I am, right? Like, but here's the, here's the, like, this is a good example, right? Like this frame literally right here is a good example of like, yes, I'm looking at the whole frame because I thought like that looks rad. But what I'm not doing, I'm not exposing for the whole frame, right? But in this case, I'm not doing anything in terms of the exposure because I was completely relying on the camera's aperture priority mode, and it did me dirty. But even if I was shooting on my M3, I would have just done this at like a 250th and at an f8. I already know that's what I would have done. Um, and I think it would have done a lot better in terms of that guy. But here's the crazy thing. For this photo, it definitely needed to be this way. You know what I mean? Like in other words, like if I was shooting digital, right? If I was on a digital camera, I could see it instantly, and this would be what I want, right? Whereas if I was on my M3 and not thinking and just being like, yeah, dude, 250, boom. I think he would be less of a silhouette, but I could be wrong about that. But I think he would be less of a silhouette because 250 is not enough to really crank that down, you know? No, it was on this R4S. Oh man, this R4S did me dirty. Yeah. So I bought it from a doctor, but it had to have a bunch of work done to it. And the auto exposure is just, I don't know, man. It's different than yeah, like the AE1 or the XD for sure. Leica R cameras have two metering systems, spot and field average. There is a switch on the camera to control the meter type. What would you do, Matthew? Because I had it in field average, and I guess I didn't fully think that was so real of a thing. I guess, like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought like, okay, it's definitely not spot, but in my brain, it wasn't like literally the whole frame. But it's cool that it is, you know, it's cool that it is, but I don't know if that works for me. Maybe for what I do, maybe here's the thing. I always gotta do manual. It's just what it is. I just have to do manual mode. That's the reality of it. Cause with my M3, it's always consistent, you know, because I'm in control of it and I don't have to trust it. The sad part is, oh man, I shot so many rolls with this camera. It's really sad, dude. Oh man, spot for sure. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too. I should have done spot. I thought about that a lot too because I was downtown yesterday with it trying to give it another chance. Oh my God, I ruined so many rolls, bro. But I was whipping down and I just whip around, you know, yeah, I'm like the Tasmanian devil, right? And then, but at one point I finally look in there. I finally look in the viewfinder and I go, oh, what? Like it was in the shadows on ISO 400. It was wanting to drop it at like 500th. It was overcast in the city, overcast, which is even darker in the shadows past 3 p.m. and it still wanted to put the shutter at 1/500th. And I was like, that's not good, dude. And and that's when I knew like, oh, this is going to be another bad day here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it does that. Spot for sure. Yep. 80s SLR meters focused on 60 to 80% of the center area. Yeah. Well, I just got to go full manual and I'll have to sell that camera. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, if you're a person that wants to meter everything, then it would be great for someone that has time to do that. But if I'm just going to use it as a manual camera, I don't need it. You know, I already have that. I already have that in the M3. I had all these, like, I guess I had these weird hopes and dreams, like thinking that like, yeah, I'll have my fully manual camera, right? This is the way my brain works, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'll have the M3. It'll be fully manual. And then I'll get like a really badass auto camera for film though, you know? And I guess, well, I guess my first problem was that a Leica R camera would not fit that bill because there are plenty of other cameras that would have done it way better for sure. But I think there is that, I don't know. I don't know. I know what it was. I already had the 28 mil. I've had that Leica R 28 mil for years. For years. Because I used it in my video work. I used to have all the Leica R lenses. I've gone through 2 sets of the Leica R lenses. I think that's why, because I was like, I already have the 28 mil, man. I already have the 28. It's already got a cool square hood on it, man. It's already got the cool square hood. So yeah, I gotta get a Leica R. I think that's why. I think that's how it probably went down in my brain, you know. Try it in spot metering and see how it does before you give it to me. I mean, before you dump it. I think with the lens, I can get also with all the work they did on it now, they put a brand new mirror box in it. So, I mean, you know, it's had nearly $600 worth of work done to it, but the lens has also been CLA'd because I've always kept good care of my lenses. So I think with the lens, I could get a pretty decent amount with it. But the problem is probably most people will be like, can you sell me just the lens? And I'll still get stuck with the camera. So maybe you will end up getting it. Cheap badass auto cam with a super good meter is the oh really? Plastic Nikon N80 or F80. Interesting. Okay. All right. How gnarly is it looking? Cause I'm a little stingy with the way they look. They gotta look a certain way. I guess I can't say that because I have been known to rip around with a Holga. And you know, I will admit sometimes that makes me feel a little less than. You know, I'm like, oh, this isn't the sexiest looking camera. But knowing that I'm doing what I'm doing with it with 120 film, it makes me feel good inside. So I just keep pushing through. All right, let me see what you're talking about here. Nikon, what is it called? Nikon, it looks dorky. Oh, how dorky. Now, sometimes some level of, oh, but it's a good dorky. Okay. Wait, did I type in the right thing? You said it's a auto cam. N80? Oh, this thing? Oh, it's a real camera. Is this what you're talking about? Oh, we can't have this. I thought you meant like a truly like a point and shoot. No, this is like a heavy duty camera here. This is a heavy duty camera. This is too much camera for what I want, you know. This is a lot of camera here. Well, is the other one like the same thing? Is the F80 the same thing? It's just for like American markets versus the Asian market, huh? Probably why. Yeah. No, this is a lot of camera. I really thought you meant like a point and shoot. It's very light. Yeah, but look at it. It looks gnarly. You might as well have a digital camera. That's the way I feel about it. Look up the olive green army Holga. The army green. Oh, this is the expensive one, huh? This is their what does Leica call it? Safari. This is the Safari Holga. That's why it's got a big price tag on it. Oh man. I never liked the Safari editions though, I will admit. This one's cool, the kind of like this one is like reminds me of like Life Aquatic. Oh man. Yeah. The ones with the flash aren't too bad though. But these are way more expensive, huh? Oh man, good old Holgas. Yeah, you can't go wrong, honestly. I just wish, look, I would pay more. I would pay a little more to have one that had a better lens and an actual rangefinder in it. But I think that's the tricky part, right? Like I don't even think you can put a real rangefinder in a plastic camera. Could you even do that? Is that even possible? I feel like, I mean, I guess, yeah, it's totally possible, right? They do so much stuff with plastic. What am I talking about? but it just doesn't seem right. It would be like, why is this in this, you know? But it would be cool. Like if you could actually focus this thing and it had a real lens in it, I think it would just go like crazy. It would have to be a little bit more robust. Why don't they do that? Why don't they do that? Why don't they make like a modern badass Holga camera that maybe was around $350, $400, right? I think that would be like a fair amount, like a $400 for like a badass Holga that actually you could focus and it had a real lens on it. And, you know, $400, so maybe it would be built a little bit better, maybe, probably. Yeah, and well, maybe not plastic. So maybe it'd be more, maybe it'd be a little more than $400. I love my F6. I don't mind that it shares the same body as the DSLR D2H. Yeah, see, too heavy duty. Digicam looking film cameras are cool again. Yeah, no, I get it. But for me, I just don't want all those buttons and things, you know? Yo, Derek Ramirez. Hey, it's my first time in a live. I love your content and work. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Quick question. I'm torn between the Canon C500 Mark II, really good camera, by the way, and the Sony FX6. Interesting. Okay. C500 is cheaper, but the Sony has the variable ND. Yeah, but C500 has its own ND. All right. I believe the C500 Mark II is the one that I shot on, actually. This is the 6K one, right? 6K resolution, I believe. Yeah, 5.9. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, honestly, look, I'm an FX6 user, okay? I love the FX6, but I will tell you, in the summer of 2020, the year of our Lord, I got to work on a documentary with this camera, the C500 Mark II. And we had these crazy servo zoom lenses, you know, Canon's insanely priced servo zoom lenses. We had a few of those for each camera because there was 2 of them, I believe. Maybe even 3, but definitely 2. We had 2 of these cameras with all the bells and whistles and the crazy servo lenses. These are really good cameras. Especially this can do 6K RAW internally. This does 6K RAW internally. You're not going to get that on an FX6. You're not even going to get that externally because it can't do 6K. The FX6, even though this camera is older, the C500 is older, but not by much. But I believe it is older, but it is more higher res, and you get that internal RAW. It's crazy, right? 6K internal RAW. I mean, that's man, I can see the debate here. It is a tough one because I do love that camera, but I love my camera too. You know, I love the FX6 too. Is the thing that pulling you the most is the variable ND? Is that what's pulling you the most? Because that's the first thing you brought up, that the Sony's variable ND. And I will be honest with you too, that if you use the Sony glass, there's going to be some debate on this, but you're not going to convince me otherwise. The Sony will give you better autofocus. I'm sorry, but it will, you know. So if you need that autofocus, and also you got to think about the price of Canon lenses versus the price of Sony lenses, and the Sony lenses are cheaper and way more readily available over the Canon glass. I think something else to remember is, like, isn't this an EF mount? This camera is pretty old, and I'm pretty sure the 500 is an EF mount. I could be wrong about that, but I think they were still on EF when they made this camera. And you know, that's great for adapting glass, but it's not great for native glass. You know, EF is dead. Yeah. You know, with what I've said though goes beyond the variable ND. You know, you're gonna have way better autofocus, especially since this is on the old EF mount. I'm almost positive the 500 is old EF mount, and the Sony's autofocus is just better. You know, the internal AI compared to this camera, 100% better. I've used both of them. This one's still really good. Don't get me wrong, but you got to have really, really expensive glass with it. You know, really expensive glass with it. With a Sony camera, it can be any E-mount lens. Does amazing. Yeah, and variable ND is great, especially if you need it to be automatic. Look, I'm selling the fucking Sony right now. I hate that, bro. Only because I don't particularly like the brand, you know? I'm not a fan of the brand. But dude, I can't say that the cameras aren't good, you know, because then I would be lying, you know. Yeah, I think I would choose the FX6 100% just because of the newer just it's just yeah. But I would say, what's the price difference? Here's how it's going to go down. What's the price difference? What are we talking price wise here? What's the price of the FX6 and what's the price of the 500? And most people, you know, some people be like, oh, price, it doesn't matter. The price doesn't matter. No, it does though. It does. It does well, it matters for a few different reasons, especially if you're like an LLC or an S Corp or something like that, you know. Um, I'm mostly interested in narrative work for myself and others, so autofocus is nothing crazy for me. Okay, okay. So you don't have to worry about the autofocus. The Canon has VND also, I believe. No, no, no. It's the old school system. This is the Mark II. Pretty sure the Mark II is the one we used in its old school system. I don't remember having it variable ND. I would have been blown away by that because I was blown away by a lot of things on this camera because I remember. I don't remember it having a variable ND. No. And if it does, it certainly doesn't have auto variable ND. That is the thing that kind of people don't talk about too much with the FX6 is the auto capabilities that ND has. It's gnarly. It's pretty wild. You know, it's different than I mean technically you're like, yeah, isn't that just auto exposure? It is and it isn't. Because the nice thing about it is auto exposure, like a true auto exposure is changing one of your camera settings, right? But that's not what the auto ND is doing, right? So you're preserving all your settings and you're just riding the ND automatically, but you can go into the menu settings and you can fine tune the variable ND and tell it, you know, the points where you want it to start adjusting to, like the max and the min. It's pretty good. You know, it's pretty awesome. I will say that. The Canon, okay, I think 10 stops of internal ND. The 500 does? Probably. But I don't remember it being variable. It was a drop down. I'm almost for certain it was a drop down. I see lots of used C500s for under 4K. FX6 still at 5K and 6K. Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. You know, yeah, the price, yeah. That FX6 has maintained its price tag for 6 years. That alone tells you something, you know. The only thing that's like killing it now is the fact that it, you know, taps out at 4K. And I only say that because for me, I don't care. Resolution isn't a deal breaker for me, but it is for a lot of people, you know. And nowadays, a lot of people want more than 4K, which I know it's on stuff that doesn't even warrant it. You know, they're like, oh, we got to have a 6K camera. And you're like, they're not fucking doing anything where you need 6K ever. But you know, that's been a thing that's been going on for a long time in terms of everyone chasing resolution. But that's the only thing that's kind of hurting the FX6. I mean, it's in all the other departments, it continues to slay just all day long. Yeah. But yeah, for under 4K, yowzers. That's a good deal too. That's a good deal too. I mean, you know, you're talking in the reality of you might be able to find an FX6 for $5,000. So then it's only a matter of $1,000 difference. I don't know. I think it would be worth it. Because also what I always think about too, like what if you want to flip it? And I know they're both, you know, they're both getting to the point where like, ugh. But if you had to, you know, the FX6 is going to hold it down longer than this one. I mean, the current prices tell you that already, you know? Yeah, definitely not auto. Yeah, I didn't think so. No, but I don't even remember it being variable though. Maybe that was an option that I was unaware of, but how could it be both? How could it be drop down and variable? Is that a thing? It has buttons for the ND on the side though. Yeah, but that's just the up down. That's just for going up and down and stops. Yeah, it's not a VND. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, because that would have blown me away because that was like the coolest thing on the FX6 was like, wow, you know. Yeah. I would, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I think you're gonna have to do some soul searching on that. But I chose the FX6. You know, I chose the FX6 after I had used this camera. I was well aware of this camera, so, and I don't regret it. I mean, but and I've said it. I've said it for a very long time. The FX6 will be the last camera I buy, in terms of, you know, high-end cinema cameras, quote unquote, you know, whatever, prosumer cinema cameras. It'll be the last one I buy. I will, you know, that'll be the sayonara camera, you know, because that's how much I care about like investing in, you know, cinema systems anymore. You know, it's just like, it's just a rat race of like trying to appease everyone, you know. Luckily, the FX6 has been holding it down, continues to hold it down, but even it has lost its glory. You know, the FX6 glory days are over, you know, and good. You know, it's good that it is, because, you know, in another lifetime, I would have been like, oh, the FX6 is losing its star power. It's time to swap it out for something else, you know, because that's what I had been doing. I had been doing that for like, what, 6-7 years, just like upgrading cameras, chasing the work. And it's just like, dude, that sucks, man. I don't, you know, I stopped doing that. I don't want to do that anymore. And it's just like anything else, you know, it happens with the lighting too. You start buying lights, and then, you know, it seems like every new job you get, you're like, oh, it's got this cool job. And then you're like, it seemed like every job you're like buying a little something new to contribute to that job. And it's just like, bro, before you know it, you know, you're spending just as much as you're making, and it just seems like you're like a snake eating its own tail, you know. And so I don't know what happened, but like maybe like a year or so ago. No, it happened in 2024. So it's been like 2 years. Yeah, something happened in 2024. My brain broke or something, and I was just like, "Oh, dude, I'm done buying all this stuff." And I sold so much stuff, man. I sold so much stuff. And just kind of as a way to just shed it away, you know, like, because the way my brain is like, if I don't have it, then I won't be provoked with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We're probably getting down a weird rabbit hole now. We don't need to talk about that anymore. C500 Mark II, before the mirrorless boom, was my wish list camera from the ones that weren't released back before there was an A7S III in 2016. I mostly wanted to just go against the Sony culture when I looked at the Canon LOL, stuck in rebellion. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've always called the Sony cameras like a disease, you know? It's like, dude, once you have it, you will never be cured of it. It's so true, man. It's so true. It's so true. Because it's just they make the stuff too easy. You know, like they've made everything too easy. Like even this camera, the camera I'm shooting this live stream on is with a little Sony camera. You know, I have too many Sony cameras now. That's what I mean. I'm in the camp, and I don't even want to be in the camp. You know, but it's just how it is. They get their hooks in you. But it doesn't have to be that way. You know. If you don't need certain things, then you don't need it. You've already said you don't need the autofocus. So you don't need autofocus. You've already, right there for me, it's like, okay. So that, because that to me is a big selling point, depending on what you're going to use the cameras for, or like, you know, the resources you have. Like if you don't need autofocus, you know, if you're not doing one-man band stuff, then you truly don't need it. Then yeah. I think that makes the playing field way more even now, you know. So now you're really just looking at like, well, do you care about the old EF mount? Most people convert and adapt to EF anyways, so maybe you wouldn't worry about that too bad. It's not as versatile as an E mount though, because with an E mount I can literally mount anything to the E mount. EF does have some limitations, so don't forget about that in terms of just like straight adaptation. The M mount in particular, right? Because I have so many Leica M lenses that I always use for cinematography. I would not be able to put my Leica M glass on that C500. Not the way I can just throw it on the front of any of my Sony cameras, you know? So the EF mount is not, you know, it's not that cool. Other than that, yeah, you're really just looking at the auto exposure or the auto variable ND that the FX6 offers. Yeah, I don't know. But then you go, hey man, I need that 6K internal RAW. Oh, but here's the biggest thing. We're not even talking about the most important thing. Guys, the color science. The C500 color science, especially that Mark II, that is a beautiful camera. The colors out of that camera, you know, I've always been a sucker for Canon colors though. I always have. Every time I use their cameras, like every time we get to shoot something and it's with like a Canon cinema camera, I always get excited because I'm like, oh, the image looks so good. I am a little biased towards that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe if I had to go do it all over again, but I wouldn't have. I would have still stuck with Sony for the autofocus. I am a sucker for autofocus. I really am. But if you don't need the autofocus, man, I think maybe that C500 Mark II is the way to go. If you don't need that autofocus. Because those colors and that 6K RAW, ooh, buddy, it's going to be good to you. And at least 6K will last you a little longer. Yeah, buddy. See how we swing on the pendulum. It's the two jesters. Oh, shit. Back in the day, there were two paths. Bimpsy OG or DSLR. DSLR people would have bought Sony today. It's true. But I wasn't a DSLR guy. I was the OG Pocket. I had the OG Pocket. I loved that little camera. And I tried to learn how to use that camera. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, I had never shot anything raw until that camera. And I'm like, whoa. That camera will teach you a lot. When you just get handed something like that, and then it's like, you've never done anything like that before. Yeah, that's like, you'll learn it quick, you know? That's a good experience. Yeah. And you could get that with this camera because this camera also does internal RAW. Because learning how to shoot internal RAW is a big difference. It was for me anyways. I'm fully invested in CF Express Type B. That's kind of a selling point for me on the Canon, but I'm not leaving my current system of Red anytime soon. FX6 is badass also. Damn, gas trying to lure me in. CF Express Type B. Okay. I have been hearing for a while that the Type B was supposed to get phased out. But I don't know. That could have just been a rumor. My first camera was an A7 III and I only bought E-mount glass, so I got stuck in that ecosystem. Yeah. Yeah, but here's the thing. E-mount glass always sells. You can get rid of Sony products in general sell so quick and fast on the secondhand market. You will get rid of that Sony glass faster than any other lenses. Yeah, you will. You will. You could still resell them quick. So if you really wanted to get out, you could get, honestly, I only own 2 Sony lenses. I didn't really, you know, I got the ones that I know that I needed for those autofocus jobs. And then all the rest is all adapted. Stuart Monroe says he's the same. I need a second camera body to do more video stuff, but with how bad the Aussie dollar is, I can't bring myself to spend $3K on a used camera. Plus, I don't want to change systems either. Yeah. Yeah, it's too much. Too much. Yeah, that's the problem too. It's like, that's why I say the FX6 will be the end for me. Because it's just like, when I think about having to spend thousands of dollars on a video camera, it doesn't excite me anymore. You know, you're just like, they all do the same thing. Why do they have to, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, you know, so that, I think that's why I lost the motivation to try to keep upgrading. And it's like, nah, we just let them, we can just find it, you know, we can find it on the day. Like if it matters that bad, you know, like if they just got to have a certain camera, then you just got to rent it. You know, that seems the most easiest route for me. That's all I'm trying to do nowadays. I'm trying to do things super easy. You know, like I don't want to bring the van full of shit. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do, you know what I mean? Like I just want everything to be a lot more chill, you know? And and I think it's like getting away from that like gung ho mentality. Like, yeah, we're gonna die on this hill together. It's like, bro, no, dude, I'm too wore out for that, dude. Like, I'm done dying on the hill, dude. Like, I don't want to be a weekend warrior anymore, bro. We gotta relax, bro. We gotta chill out, man. That's how I feel about the job aspect of it, anyways. You know, where it's like we can do things more efficiently and smarter without breaking our bodies. You know, that's what I've been advocating for in the non-union video world. Anyways, it's not going well though. We'll say that. No internal RAW on Sony until November 2028 when red patent expires, it seems. Ooh, that's a real thing. Oh. Is everybody gonna eat up that R3D? That'll be nuts. Just popping in, currently editing film scans right now. Yeah, we were. I got sidetracked like a chihuahua, man. Oh, every time. I think this is why. Every time I look at it, my heart breaks. It's I'm heartbroken too many times in one moment, one session, dude. Holy shit. What do you mean, Stuart? AUD is high right now. The Ancient Mystery School, in my opinion, a lot of so-called cinema cameras are too sharp, and I think Sony with the FX3 and the FX6 and also Red cameras managed to have that sort of film texture. I don't know if I agree with you 100%. I don't know if Sony has the texture you speak of, or maybe I don't. Maybe my interpretation of texture is different. But if that's what we want to call it, I still think the C500 Mark II wins. I just do. I just do. This camera is so good in terms of the image. And this is at the same time that I was shooting on the Komodo. Yeah, this one, and honestly, this camera, when I was shooting this I worked on a documentary. I was the B cam operator with this camera specifically for about a month and a half during 2020. So that's when I had already put the down payment on my Komodo. If I would not have done that, I was already set to buy the C70 after using this camera. When I used this camera, I was like, dude, I gotta get the C70, because that's when the C70 dropped at the same year, remember? The C70 dropped the same time that the Komodo did. But I had already put my deposit down on the Komodo. And some people would say, you could have got it back. I know, but maybe I was using that as like an excuse to like stay tapped into the Komodo, you know? Which I'm sure I was, you know, a little bit of me was doing that. But man, I don't know. I think the image out of those Canon cameras are so good. Like I was saying before, like anytime I work on a job, we get to work on the Canon cameras. I don't know, man. I like the way they look. It's almost, honestly, it's like Blackmagic's got a little bit of that too. Blackmagic's got a little bit of that too. Like, you're like, I hate the way these cameras look. I hate the way that they work. I hate the way they feel. But when you see them, when you see the image that they can produce, it's like, I don't know. That's pretty good. It's like, it really makes you shut up real quick. You're like, I'll eat another carrot. Just stay looking at the monitor. You know, I think they do. I don't think as much as a user of Sony that I am, Sony doesn't have it. I don't think so. I don't think Sony's got it. Not the way that some of those Canon cameras have it. That's just my opinion, though. But this is all stupid conversation, right? Because it's all like subjective, you know. It's all subjective. You know, if for you Sony's got it, then that works, you know. That's why it's like you could like run around all day in circles, you know, discussing color science and all of that. That's why I think for the most part, it just comes down to the features. Does it have the features that you need? Does it got all the stuff that you literally need? You know, because we all individually need different things from different tools. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reality of it. So that's really what you kind of just got to sit down and think about. Does this one have specifically what I need? And maybe what you want for the future too. You know, you got to think about that a little bit too. You know, like, hey man, is this, you know, like I was saying, like that difference with the EF mount, like, is that going to hold you back? Is that going to, you know, find out, is that rumor true about the CFB Express cards? Like, are they gonna, because I had heard that for a minute now that they were getting rid of the CFB cards. I don't know. And then also battery options, like, you know, I don't know, riggability. There's a lot of things to take into account, you know. It's not a hard camera to rig though. Neither of them are. Yeah, they're pretty similar in that aspect, honestly. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a good debate right there. That's a good one. You got me running around in circles with it. God damn it. If you're curious, check out CineStill's free lighting room presets for film conversions. I prefer it to, yeah, someone else was, yeah, I saw that too. I saw that when they dropped that. Yeah, I was curious about that. Sony was like digital during the George Lucas days. Maybe they made a lot of improvements like Venice that it looks more like how our eyes perceive the world. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Venice does look really good. But I don't think, I don't know if the FX6 can look that good. I feel like they're different. I feel like it's a definitely different look. I just don't want to pay $3,500 for a used Sony A7S III or $5K for a Sony. Yeah, then don't. Why do you need that? You don't need the best. You don't need the best. Isn't it supposed to be a second camera? Just get an A7C II. You can get an A7C II. These cameras are awesome, dude. And you can get one for probably like $1,800 right now, easily. And that's still, you know, that's a little bit of money, but it's not 35, you know, it's almost, you know, I mean, I don't know, the A7C II, and honestly, it's got way better tech in it than those cameras. Maybe not the A7 IV. Well, maybe. I think they came out at the same time, actually. Fair enough. Nikon ZR. Oh, yeah. Nikon ZR is a good one. I've got to use that one. I got to shoot on that. And that's a nice camera. Yeah, I will say that's a nice one. It's a very cool camera. I will say that. All these high dynamic range cameras have it in the shadows. C70 didn't look much different from the BIMC 4K back in the day. Can't wait 3 to 4 years from now when we can actually get Alexa Classic DR. Yeah, and you know it'll probably be in the Lumix cameras first. So they got a little deal going on. The amount of money you have to spend just to get that camera up and running is a joke to me. What? The amount of money you have to spend to just get that camera. What? What are you talking about? What camera? Any thoughts on Blackmagic new autofocus, or do you not trust it as reliable yet? I didn't know anything about that. I haven't looked at it. I haven't used it. I don't even know about it. I didn't even know Blackmagic had autofocus. Blackmagic Design has introduced advanced AI-powered autofocus AF and subject tracking on select cameras, including the Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K and the Pixis 6K via firmware 9.5 and later. The system features phase detect AF, continuous autofocus, face detection, and object tracking, allowing for reliable fast focusing, particularly on L-mount lenses. Wow. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Has anybody done any tests on that yet? All this video camera talk is triggering my buying anxiety when I was freelancing in 2015, Wild West era cams. Yeah, don't do that. Stay away. Look away, look away. The new Raptor XE is still CF Express Type B. No, I know. I hope they don't get rid of it, but I still have around 6 terabytes in Type B cards that will last me. I think the Canon C70 and the C300 Mark III have that mojo with that DGO sensor. You are right about that. You are right about that. Yeah. Shout out to my buddy Rob Swanson. He has C300 Mark III. I believe that's the one he has. And I think that's why he keeps it, because the DGO. Yeah, man, it's nice. You might be right about that. A lot of people like that, and I do too. Yeah, we need that back. The ZR. Yeah, get the ZR then. Yeah, get the ZR. Yeah, you're right. If I had to choose between the A7C Mark II and a ZR, and I didn't already have the FX6, you know what I mean? And I think I said that in the video that I did on the ZR. I think that was like what I was saying. Like, if I didn't need it as a B cam, because that's always how my brain works, right? I think about it in the reality of like freelance. So I saw like that for me, the A7C2 ticks so many boxes, and the ZR could tick a lot of those boxes too, except the B cam option. Like it'll never I like, not for me. I cannot sit there, and also with clients, like so many like of the corporate clients, they're like, no, it cannot be two separate camera systems. Our brain will explode. You know, like that's the way they act. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, so it just, it's not gonna fly from like that realistic like business standpoint. But if you'll, I don't know, what are you gonna match it against? You said you need it as a B cam, right? What are you gonna pair it up against? Some people don't care. Some people don't care. So if it doesn't matter, if you don't want it, look, it will start to annoy you having the two different camera mounts. For me, that killed me, because I ran separate systems for a long time. Like I was always doing nutty shit like that. Like I was matching the Sigma FP with the red Komodo, and just that was impossible to do. And then I would try to match the Sony A7S III with the Sigma FP, and then like A7S III with the Komodo, and sometimes like all three of them, like just ugh. And even I used to even do that with the OG Pocket, like the Super 16 OG Blackmagic Pocket camera. I used to try to cut that with like GH5s and stuff. That is so much extra work that I just never wanted to deal with again. And then I was like, no, dude, no more different camera systems for video world. Like I can't roll like that. This is too many headaches. You know, so I don't know. I don't know what kind of B cam you're using it as, but you said hybrid cam. You said hybrid cam. So maybe you don't need it as like a true B cam. If Fairchild didn't get bought out, we would have had Pocket Alexas by now. Oh man, that would be badass. No, I'm saying the ZR is expensive to get up and running. Oh, such as the massive memory cards, adapters, so I can run my Sony glass and hard drive space as well. Oh yeah, but not really. Not really. I used the ZR in my hand, and I think it was fine using it like that. What do you mean? I think the batteries would be super inexpensive for that camera. Does it have massive memory cards? I don't know what the memory card even was in it. I don't remember what type of memory card it had or anything. I don't remember anything about like the logistics or like the specs of the camera. I just remember I remember that huge screen. The screen was so like, wowzers. Like I was like, wow, look at this thing. It was like a portable television. It was like crazy to me how cool the screen was. It was better than my iPhone. You know what I mean? Like it looked good. It looked so good and crisp, and like I've never seen a camera screen like that ever. And I remember that burns the most in my brain, but also like the handling of it, I didn't really mind too much. I didn't really mind the handling of it. I feel like what do you want to rig it out? That's why I say, don't do that either, man. Don't rig those cameras out, man. That's such I'm done with that world too. You know, rigging out the cameras all crazy. I have never done that with my A7C2. No. Even when we just used it as a B cam, no, it might have been a C cam or something, but I used it, just recently, and I just let it live on the tripod, and I just run the dummy battery down to the V mount, and the V mount's attached to the tripod leg. That's the most rigging I do. Like I don't like this idea of rigging out the tiny cameras anymore. It's just like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So don't do that. You don't need to do that. The ZR is good. Doesn't it have stabilization? Did it have stabilization? I can't remember now. I can't remember if it had stabilization or not. Is trying to match different color sciences a thing when working with different systems on a project? Is trying to match a different color science a thing when working with different systems? What do you mean different systems? Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, like a documentary, right? So like, yeah, documentaries have it the worst, dude. Like they'll have cell phone footage, then yeah, C500 Mark II, and then like some other crazy, handy cam, like, they'll have all kinds of crazy stuff. I think it just depends what you're doing. With documentaries, they lean into it, right? Like they'll lean into the look and make it look even gnarlier sometimes to let you know, like, oh, this was found footage or whatever they're trying to do, or take you back in time or a different era or something. But I think if you're doing like a narrative thing, yeah, that would suck, dude. Like it would suck like if you had a movie that the whole movie took place in 1985. Let's just pick a random date, right? But the whole movie takes place the same time in the same year, and you shot it on like 3 different camera systems. I think you would have a bit of a pain in your ass. I really do. Especially in terms of like thinking like if it was like an indie feature film and some scenes are shot outside and you didn't have big boy money and the background got cooked and you're like, well, I mean, there's a lot of in that circumstance, then that footage would start to look even gnarlier compared to all the other footage is what I'm saying. So yeah, I think shooting on the different systems, it would be a pain in the ass depending on what you were doing, 100%. And yeah, in the corporate world, it shouldn't matter as much, because it's kind of like, who cares? But I think with them, it's more of like, because they think very analytically. So when their editors or whoever is in charge, they see these different files getting dumped and the fact that the files look different, like, right? Because like you'll put an SD card from a Sony camera and the things that it says when you pull it up will be very different than when you put a SD card from a Canon camera in there. You know what I'm saying? Like just the fact of that, like things popping up differently immediately will just throw them for a loop and they'll be like, cannot compute. This one does not match this one, and everything has to be exactly boom, boom, boom. They want it to be like a recipe book. So they want all that shit to match. Yeah, man. I don't know. It just depends what you're doing. You don't always need it to match. I don't think you would have much trouble matching a camera that does RAW with anything else, though, right? Because the ZR shoots RAW. So that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, and it's not just any kind of RAW. Oh, it's the special RAW. Yeah. It's the reptilian. It's the reptilian edition of RAW. Isn't there a color match plugin on all these video editing softwares? But lens that aren't same mount does make things more complicated. Yeah, you're right. There's plenty of ways to make shit match. You could use aces. I don't know though. Just for me, maybe it's like a me thing. Where I'm just like, nah, I don't want to mix and match that shit, dude. You can shoot non-RAW codecs, so your hard drive space argument doesn't make sense. My hard drive space argument? Or Stuart brought that up. ZR is good. Nikon still sold them like hotcakes, even though there was a lot missing to get them going, and the price of storage right now. Yep. It's true. Yeah, I think the ZR is a great choice, Stuart. Unless you love Sony, and then you just get the A7C II. All right, guys. I think that about does it. We've been on here for a minute. My heart got broken from these. I don't know. I'm gonna make it work though. I'm gonna make these work for me. Some of them are gone, but I really like this one. I really like this one. This is the dark side of the moon here. Anyways, all right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. We're gonna call it. Keep around. We'll try to do more of these. I'm gonna try to do more of these again.